Hi there, I'm John Keirstead from Arctic Spas, Vancouver Island. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's come up in the last little while. We're getting a lot of customers that are talking about their Wi-Fi not being consistent. You know, sometimes their tub's connected, sometimes their tub isn't. So whether you have the Gecko InTouch system, which is a Wi-Fi app for our B-Wells, our Core, and our Classics, or if you have a custom series spa that's connected to the internet where you can use the app and track and do all kinds of fun things, none of that stuff works unless you're connected to the spa. So the first thing that I'd like to explain is actually how the Wi-Fi works on an Arctic spa. So in the old days, the spas weren't themselves generating a Wi-Fi hotspot, but these are more like a smart TV now. There's a little card in here. You can see this little thing here, that's an antenna. And then there's this, we call an Ethernet port, like you might have seen at work or on the back of a computer or otherwise. But this is actually generating its own hotspot. So you could actually connect to it, and if it was connected to the internet, then you would be able to connect that way. But one of the things that allows us to do is, with the app, you can actually direct connect from your phone to this, even if your Wi-Fi connection isn't working, because it has its own connection that you can do. Now, that's not going to send information back to the factory. That's not going to allow technicians to look at your spa, but it'll allow you to still control your spa wirelessly. Okay. Now, when we first hook these up, generally what we want is we want to connect that Wi-Fi to your home Wi-Fi. So your home router. Your home router is going to be positioned wherever it is your house, and your tub is going to be in position. So one of the things that's leading to the problems that customers are having is just the sheer distance, right? Wi-Fi travels in a straight line, and so what happens is if anything is in the way of that, then that's going to prevent that signal, the signal strength. And actually we track, through the app, we can actually track your signal strength. Now, so what you want to find out is what affects my signal strength, because if you're finding your tub is sometimes connected and sometimes not, it's because of that signal and variance in signal. The equipment, as I showed you, is inside the tub, so it's in underneath here, and that's an insulated box that it's inside of, right? So the Wi-Fi signal has to get through that insulated box. There's also a plastic piece in front of this. And depending on where your home is, in this particular case, this particular model, the seats face this way. So a lot of the times people would have their home here or here and have this looking out at their view. Well, the problem is now their signal from their Wi-Fi router has to go through this 300 gallons of water and travel all the way through to that little antenna, right? If it doesn't get to there or doesn't get there, and you can have all kinds of things interrupt that. When the spa is moving the water, that's going to change how the signal passes through the water. So configuring your spa the right way to the pack, if the pack was closer to your home, that will actually help a lot. It doesn't always work with the models that you have. Now, I did point out on here, there is an Ethernet cable, which is, if you've done any computers at work or you've done any networks where they actually connect with an Ethernet cable. An Ethernet cable, you know, it looks kind of like a phone, old phone jack. Nobody even knows what those type of phones are. But there's your Ethernet cable. Well, that can plug right into the side right here. And I can run this directly to your router. So what a lot of people do is when they run the wire for the tub, they'll run an outdoor version of this that allows them to connect it, hard connect it to the spa. That's not always possible. Your router might not be in a place that you can get wire and stuff to, which is why Wi-Fi is so prevalent and useful. But sometimes the sacrifice is that the signal is not strong, it can be blocked. It can also be interfered upon. You know, one of the things I've had some really strange stuff where somebody's heat pump turns on, or a motor turns on, or someone's printer in their home office turns on, and the next thing you know, the Wi-Fi to the spa gets interrupted. Or lots of users using your internet connection, right? You got people watching on 5 different pads and phones and things like that, and they have all these tablets. Well, all of those things, and our TVs even, our fridges, everything's connecting to the internet. Well, they're all taking their little slice. And so that can also affect the ability for this thing to be connected all the time, right? Hard connection with a cable is always going to be your best connection, but there's some next best. One of the things you could do, say, well, I don't really want to move my thing. I can't run a cable. What else could I do? Well, we have a thing called EOP, which is Ethernet over power, which basically Ethernet is those cables, but I plug one of those in here and power it, and I run one of those little Ethernet cables in there, and then I do the same thing at the router. And as long as the tub is on the same electrical connection or circuit as the home is, where the router is, then these things can actually use the wires as the Ethernet cable, which is pretty cool. And so this is what we used to always have to do because it didn't generate its own Wi-Fi. So this was how we got away from having to use cables, right? The other thing you could do is you can make the Wi-Fi signal stronger. Now there's a couple of different ways to do it. You probably heard of Wi-Fi extenders or boosters. You put a Wi-Fi booster closer to the hot tub. So let's say your router was way over in the back side of your house. Well, maybe on the room closest or a window closest, we can put a booster in that spot and extend the range of the Wi-Fi. Now what's cool is because this is its own hotspot, it's already a Wi-Fi extender. It's actually going to link to your house, and you could connect to your hot tub and connect to the internet if you wanted. I've done that on my own at home because my hot tub is closer to my bedroom, so I get a faster speed. Plus everybody else uses the other connection, and so that one's generally slower because they're all on their iPads or a TV or otherwise, right? You can also, this is sort of along the lines of an extender. These things here, they're a part of what's called a mesh network, which basically means you put a bunch of these nodes around. The hot tub's a node, the router at the house is a node, but I can actually connect these to that one in the house and put these at different spaces. And if you space them out evenly, what they do is they send information all around the mesh. And they'll send pieces of information based on which one's getting the fastest and best connection. It will constantly adjust in your mesh network so you get a better connectivity. So if you're having problems with your Wi-Fi, the solution will most likely be check the orientation of your spa. Make sure if it's possible to move it in a direction that's better, then you'll be okay. The other thing that you can do is consider EOP, Wi-Fi extender, or a hard cable connection. I'm John Keirstead from Arctic Spas, Vancouver Island. Thanks for watching the video.